It is time for Hamilton Southeastern basketball on Audio Sports Online. Tonight we are at Hamilton Southeastern High School where the Royals will take on the Marauders from Mount Vernon. You can catch all the action here tonight on Audio Sports Online. I'm Brian Scott. Glad to have you with us tonight here from Hamilton Southeastern as the Royals look to bounce back after a really gut-wrenching loss last night. They lost in Zionsville to the Eagles on a last-second three-pointer in overtime to fall to Zionsville by the score of 73-72 tonight. They look to bounce back against what's always been a very, very tough Mount Vernon team. We'll talk more about last night's game with the Eagles, but first we have junior varsity action as Coach Dave Merrick's squad will take on the JV Marauders, coached by Jake Hoffman. Let's give you the starting lineup. First off, for the visiting Marauders, starting at a guard is a 5'9" sophomore, Sam McCarty. The other guard is a 5'11" sophomore, Keith Rupert. The third guard is a 6'2" freshman, Brandon Bell. At forward, a 6'3" sophomore, David Kilburn-Smith. And at center, 6'5" sophomore, Max Burhan. So the backcourt is McCarty, Rupert, and Bell. The front court, Kilburn-Smith and Burhan. That's the starting lineup for the Marauders. For the Hamilton Southeastern Royals, head coach Dave Merrick's squad looks like this tonight. Starting at a guard is a 5'11" junior, Josh Fugate. The other guard is a 6' sophomore, Matt Harris. The third guard is 6' junior, DeLynn Hooks. At forward, a 6'4" freshman, Chris Grubbs. And at center, 7'1" freshman, Mabor Majak. So it's Fugate, Harris, and Hooks in the backcourt, Grubbs and Majak up front. That is the starting lineup for the JV Royals as we get ready for action tonight. From Hamilton Southeastern High School, I'm Brian Scott. Glad you could join me tonight. Pretty nice day outside as we made our way to Hamilton Southeastern High School. Plenty of people outside on what is an abnormally warm January Saturday. But we're glad you're with us for some high school basketball. It'll be Mabor Majak jumping center against Max Burhan. The Marauders are in the black with the white numerals and gold trim. The Royals in the home whites with the royal blue numerals and royal blue trim. So we're getting ready for some basketball. Pull up a chair. Glad you're joining us tonight on Audio Sports Online. Again, Majak against Burhan to jump center as we're about ready to get some basketball underway. And as the ball's thrown in the air, easily controlled by Majak, and it's the Royals that will start off the game with the first possession. They'll look over a man-to-man defense employed by the Marauders. This is Chris Grubbs, who's had an outstanding JV season so far. And again, he's only a freshman. Nice down-low pass to Majak. He'll kick it out. This is Matt Harris for three, and Harris starts things off with a three ball from the top of the key, and the Royals are on the scoreboard first, and they will start out in a man-to-man defense against this Marauders squad. This is Brandon Bell with the basketball over to Kilburn-Smith, back to Bell, right side. This is Smith. They get it out to the wing, and Keith Rupert's shot's no good, and Chris Grubbs comes away with a rebound, tries to throw the pass, but it's intercepted. Here are the Marauders down into the front court. With the basketball, Sam McCarty, he drives, hands the ball off, and they'll send it out. Now stolen away. This is Matt Harris. He'll pick it up, take it to the other end, and as he goes up, he will be fouled as the Royals get the defensive takeaway, and Harris will be fouled on his way to the basket. McCarty will be called for his first team foul, and Matt Harris is going to go to the line to shoot a pair. Harris started the scoring off for Southeastern with that top-of-the-key three, and his first free throw, however, rims out. Just underway here from Hamilton Southeastern High School, junior varsity action between Hamilton Southeastern and Mount Vernon. Second free throw is up, and Harris will split the free throws, and it's a 4-0 lead for Hamilton Southeastern as the Marauders get it into the front court. McCarty gets around a screen, drives, tries to go to Majak, and as he tried to stop and pivot around, he's going to slide on the court and be called for traveling. Didn't want to go up directly against the big 7'1" center, so he was going to try to spin away, but slid on the court, and he's called for steps, and turnover gives the ball back to Southeastern, who leads 4-0. Entry pass to Majak. He'll work, spin, left hand, lays it up off the glass and in. One of the strong points from Mabor Majak, that little left-handed hook shot runner in the lane. And he has a bucket, and it's 6-0 Southeastern with 5:15 left to go in this first quarter. Where the ball is Keith Rupert, working one-on-one against Josh Fugate, sends it out to McCarty, back over to Rupert. Rupert will let the three go from the wing. It's no good, but it comes down into the hands of McCarty, who'll give it right back to Rupert. Up at the top, here's a three on the way. That one rims out, rebounded by Kilburn-Smith on the miss from Brandon Bell. Out to McCarty, his three from the wing, that's off the heel, no good, and Grubbs finally gets the rebound for Southeastern. And they try to feed the big man Majak running down the lane. Majak can't handle the pass, and the turnover gives the ball back to the Marauders. We're still looking for their first points of this first quarter, as we have 4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in this first quarter. McCarty has the ball pocked away, but Kilburn-Smith gets it. Up top, this is Rupert. And Rupert will work one-on-one on Fugate and then just pull up, launch the three, and nail it. Keith Rupert puts the Marauders on the board with a long-range three top of the key, and it's 6-3 in favor of Hamilton Southeastern, with Matt Harris bringing it into the front court. Harris right side, this is DeLind Hooks. Gets around a Harris screen, little pick and roll action, but ball's knocked away and into the hands of the Marauders. They get the steal, they get it into the front court, send it left side. Three ball from the wing, that's up, that is good by Brandon Bell. And just like that, this game is tied on a pair of Marauder threes after trailing 6-0. We're all tied at 6 with 3:50 left to go in the first quarter. Hooks with the basketball, works baseline, now sends it out to Fugate, left side to Harris. Harris has to reach out and get it, but he does corral the basketball. The trap and double team comes. They find Majak left elbow. Ball fake out to Fugate. Fugate drives baseline, throws it up off the glass, and a nice shot by Josh Fugate. 8-6 in favor of Southeastern. 3:24 left to go, opening quarter of play. Substitutions for Southeastern on the next dead ball, and as we get a foul called as Brandon Bell makes a move through the line. And let's see who the now they'll just say it went out of bounds off of a Royal. So no foul. And we've got Cole Hornbuckle now into the lineup. He is joined by Bradley Beeman, and we'll get the lineup in a second. Meanwhile, here's a three. It's no good, and Grubbs has the rebound for Southeastern. They lead by 2, 8-6. Grubbs takes it all the way to the hoop, going coast to coast, gets the bucket. His first points of the contest. Bradley Beeman joins Chris Grubbs, Mabor Majak, Chris Kotlowski, and Cole Hornbuckle. Those are the five out on the court for Coach Dave Merica. Here's a three blocked by Majak on the McCarty three. Majak goes down, and we're going to get a timeout called by Coach Dave Merica. He will get the timeout before the ball can be stolen away from Mabor Majak, as he blocked the shot from McCarty down in the corner. Was able to get the basketball, and while he was down on the court, Coach Dave Merica gets the timeout. And it is a 30-second timeout by Coach Dave Merica with 2:48 left to play in the opening quarter. Hamilton Southeastern leads Mount Vernon 10-6. I'm Brian Scott. So glad to be with you tonight from Hamilton Southeastern High School. Again, a beautiful Saturday. A lot of people out and about, and hopefully their final stop will be here at Hamilton Southeastern to catch the Royals take on the Marauders. But if not, make sure you catch all the action on Audio Sports Online. Lineups will stay the same as we get ready for action to resume, and it'll be Chris Grubbs inbounding the basketball. And he will get the ball into the hands of Bradley Beeman now. Running the point. Beeman into the front court, gives it to Hornbuckle. Hornbuckle, bounce pass, tried to get Kotlowski driving the baseline. Ball still on the court, and we're going to have a held ball between Mabor Majak and Keith Rupert. And the possession error will favor the Marauders of Mount Vernon. So they'll keep the basketball trailing by 4 with 2:33 left to go in the opening quarter. the Royals will have the basketball as it was facing this direction. So a little different here where they actually point in the direction of the basket. Here's a nice pull-up jumper by Chris Grubbs just inside the three-point arc, and he has 4 points. It's 12-6 in favor of Southeastern. 2:15 left to play, opening quarter. Here's a long-range three by Rupert, and Majak skies through the lane to get the rebound. So one and done for Mount Vernon. Here's Bradley Beeman to Hornbuckle. Hornbuckle, pull-up jumper right from the free throw line is up and good. Cole Hornbuckle in the scorers column. And the lead is 14-6 for Southeastern with 1:50 left to go first quarter. Here's Brandon Bell, little one-hand shot, no good. Ball's on the floor, and Bradley Beeman comes away with it for Southeastern. He'll go left side. Hornbuckle's three is up. It is good. Cole Hornbuckle with a quick 5 points. And off that three. And the Southeastern lead is now double figures at 11. It's 17-6 with 1:34 left to play first quarter, and that's going to cause Marauders head coach Jake Hoffman to call a 30-second timeout. Both teams have used a 30-second. Not a whole lot of whistles in this contest. Only one foul has been called. That went against Mount Vernon. Southeastern has yet to commit a foul. And again, we have 1:34 left to go in this first quarter of play. I'm Brian Scott. Glad you could join us. High school basketball on Audio Sports Online. For those of you, I've received a few emails asking the Westfield game that was postponed last Friday night, a week ago, I should say, due to the possibility of inclement weather. That has been rescheduled. It will be played February 4th. It will be a day game. The JV will be in action. We'll have that game for you on Audio Sports Online. Originally, that Westfield game was a boy-girl doubleheader. It will be Heritage Christian bringing their JV squad here to play the Royals, while Westfield will take on the varsity squad. The JV game begins at 11 a.m. Varsity game to start at 12:30 in the afternoon. Here's the three from the wing, short off the rim. Hornbuckle with a rebound off of the Bell miss. He'll get in the front court, give it to Grubbs. Grubbs missed the shot, but they're following up, and getting the putback was Nate Shetkowski. So Nate Shetkowski into the lineup. He'll join Hornbuckle, Grubbs, Kotlowski, and Beeman, and sub already at the scorer's table. Here's another three. That one's short, as the Marauders just pretty much content to launch from long range, and they find themselves trailing by 13 as we now have 42 seconds left to go. Chris Grubbs, one-on-one, drives down the right side of the lane on a nice move, and Grubbs has 6 points. 21-6 as we are in the final 30 seconds of this first quarter of play. This is Daryl Jackson now in the game for the Marauders, and he gets the ball into the hands of Cooper Williams. Sends it to Bell, back left side. This is Rupert. Bell, he'll launch the three near the top of the key, and Brandon Bell will get the three, his second bucket of the contest. Both of them have been from long range, 21-9, with 7 seconds, 6 seconds. Here's Grubbs, drives, goes right side, three on the way. High arching shot is up and good by Chris Kotlowski, and that is how we end the first quarter of play. Both teams shooting quite a few shots from beyond the arc. The Royals have made three three-point baskets. The Marauders, that is all their points. All 9 of them have come from beyond the arc. And after one quarter, Southeastern leads Mount Vernon 24-9. This is Royals basketball on ASL. Welcome back to Hamilton Southeastern High School. Brian Scott with you as we get ready to begin. Second quarter action. Everything beyond the arc seemingly in that first quarter, though for the Marauders, that is the only way they were able to score in that first quarter. They made 3 baskets, all beyond the arc, nothing inside. Meanwhile, Southeastern, while they did hit 3 threes as well, they got 6 points from Chris Grubbs close to the basket. And balanced scoring throughout as they lead 24-9 as we begin the second quarter of action. And here's a turnover, ball poked away. Looks like it was Nate Shadkowski being able to get his hand in there, poked it away into the hands of Cole Hornbuckle. And here are the Royals leading 24-9. Shadkowski over to Bradley Beeman. Beeman drives, scoops it up with a hand, doesn't get it to drop, and the Marauders have the rebound. Here's Brandon Bell. They'll go left side. They'll swing it around. They'll fake the 3 by Daryl Jackson and now get it into the hands of Cooper Williams. Back to the top of the key, back to the right side. Keith Rupert with the basketball, gets around a screen. Gets it down into the corner, driving. This is Williams. He'll force up a shot, and he'll be well short. And here comes Hamilton Southeastern the other way. Nice bounce pass by Hornbuckle to Williams, but he'll back it out to Shadkowski. 24-9, just underway here in the second quarter. We've played just over a minute. Here's Matt Harris. He'll drive, right-hand runner in the lane, won't drop. Cooper Williams will have the rebound for the Marauders as they'll bring it back into the front court. Rupert will feed down low, turnaround jumper at the bucket, gets it to go is Max Burhan, and he will go to the line on the first foul committed by Southeastern in this game. And it will be committed by Chris Kotlowski. Max Burhan, first bucket from inside the three-point arc for the Marauders, and now he'll have a chance to convert the three-point play. 5:38 left to go in this first half. 24-11 is our score. Make it 24-12 after the three-point conversions. Substitutions for Hamilton Southeastern. Well, Cole Hornbuckle is still out on the court with Nate Shadkowski, who gets it over to Hornbuckle. They're joined by DeLand Hooks, Brandon Miller, and Cam Harris. Down low, they find Miller. Miller puts it high off the glass, no good, and coming in to try to get the basketball, but having it go off of his leg out of bounds was Nate Shadkowski, and the ball will belong to the Marauders of Mount Vernon. They trail by 12, doubled up. Have they been by the Royals? 24-12, 5:10 left to go in the first half. And now we're going to have a foul away from the basketball as Brandon Bell making a move, but the foul's going to be away from the basketball, and it's going to go against Brandon Miller. That's his first, team second against Hamilton Southeastern. And the Marauders will once again, this time it'll go off of the foot. Picked up by Cole Hornbuckle. He'll take it to the hoop and miss the layup. Went right off the foot of Daryl Jackson in the hands of Hornbuckle. Jackson already at the other end of the court will get the pass. He'll get the bucket, and he will have a chance as a three-point play himself. So right now the Marauders are scoring everything in threes. In the first quarter, it was via the three-point basket, and their first points here in the second quarter was a and one for a three-point play, and now Jackson has a chance for the and one himself. But he'll miss the free throw, and Miller will chase it down. He has 2 personal fouls, 3 against Hamilton Southeastern. They lead by 10 with 4:44 left to go in the half. Shadkowski goes right side. Here's a shot by Brandon Miller. Bounces off the flange, off the rim, and into the hands of the Marauders. Quickly into the front court. Left side, this is Rupert. Bounce pass down low. They get it down low in the paint. Shot no good. Rebound poked around. Finally, it's Burham coming away with a bucket off the miss. And it's now an 8-point lead for Hamilton Southeastern with 4:16 left to go in the half. Shadkowski to Cam Harris, drives the lane, puts it up. Shot won't drop, and coming down with a rebound is David Kilburn-Smith. Back the other way come the Marauders. They've been cutting into this lead. And now as they get the ball into Kilburn-Smith, he'll be fouled. Oh, actually, you're going to say he traveled. So it's a turnover, and we'll have some substitutions as Coach Dave Marica getting some of his starters back out onto the court with Josh Fugate and Mabor Majak. And they'll be joined by Brandon Miller, Cam Harris, and DeLynn Hooks. 24-16 is the score. Royals with the basketball. Harris right side to Hooks. They feed down low to Majak. Majak, left-hand hook shot, missed everything. But Cam Harris got the basketball, but the Marauders are going to come away with the loose ball. Dribbling as Jackson's found Majak, decided to send it back out. Here's a long-range three. That one's off the glass, no good. Kilburn-Smith came in, got the rebound, couldn't get the putback, and the Royals will come away with it. 24-16 remains the score, 3:19 first half. Here's DeLynn Hooks, out of control, but is going to be bailed out with a foul called, much to the dismay of head coach Jay Kaufman. Max Burhan will be called for the foul, his first, team second, and DeLynn Hooks will be at the line to shoot a pair. Royals are 1 of 2 in that first quarter from the free throw line. This is their first free throw attempt in the second quarter. In fact, Southeastern still looking for their first points here in the second quarter. They have been outscored 7-0 in quarter number 2. They led 24-9 after the first quarter. Hooks missed the first free throw. Second free throw is on his way. That rims out. Chris Grubbs, who's now back into the game, gets the rebound, and the Royals will have another possession. DeLynn Hooks goes right side. This is Cam Harris with the basketball to Fugate. Fugate left side. DeLynn Hooks with the basketball. Kicks it out to Fugate. Fugate with a little bit of a head fake gives it to Grubbs. Grubbs, pull-up jumper, left elbow's up, and it's good. And Royals have their first points of the second half on a Grubbs jumper. He has 8, and it's once again a 10-point lead for Southeastern at 26-16. And good hands, good athletic play there by DeLynn Hooks as they tried to get the ball to Brandon Bell. Hooks was able to get in there and knock it away, but the ball will remain in the hands of the Marauders with 2:42 left to go first half. A 10-point lead for Southeastern. Into the hands of Cooper Williams goes the basketball to Sam McCarty, now back into the lineup. Left side, this is Keith Rupert. Rupert gets around a screen, now just pulls up, launches the three. No good. Majak with a rebound for Southeastern. He'll give it to Josh Fugate. Fugate into the front court to give it to DeLynn Hooks. Joined by Chris Scruggs, Cam Harris, Mabor Majak, and Josh Fugate. This is Cam Harris with the basketball. Goes to Fugate. Fugate, right side. DeLynn Hooks launches the three and nails it from the corner. DeLynn Hooks in the scorer's column with a three, and the lead is now back to 13 for Southeastern. Rupert with the basketball. Makes a move, goes left side, tries to kick it out, knocked away and taken away by Chris Grubbs. Grubbs behind the back, and then just going to be grabbed and held. Looks like the foul is going to go against Cooper Williams. 13 foul against the Mount Vernon Marauders, and Williams first. Matt Harris is in, so the starting five back on the court for Coach Dave Marica of Fugate Harris. Matt Harris, I should say, DeLynn Hooks, Chris Grubbs, and Mabor Majak. And they'll throw it into the backcourt where Josh Fugate will retrieve the basketball and bring it into the front court. Minute 45 left to go first half, 29-16, Southeastern with the basketball and the lead. And as we have a move by DeLynn Hooks, a whistle and a foul is going to be called. Cooper Williams is going to be called for the foul. I believe that was going to be actually against, he was guarding Grubbs. Here's Grubbs, and as he makes a move, Williams is going to be hit with his third personal. As Williams quickly picks up 2 fouls. And that's going to send Chris Grubbs to the line. Grubbs has 8 points. This is his first free throw attempts. Chris, a very promising freshman. We've seen great things out of him here in this JV season. And his free throw, however, is off. Daryl Jackson will come in. He'll spell Cooper Williams, who leaves with no points and 3 fouls for Coach Jay Kaufman's Marauders. Chris, another one of those seemingly long line of Hamilton Southeastern players that can shoot from the perimeter, drive the basket, good rebound, good ball handling. As they get the ball in the lane, and now losing the basketball and traveling with it was David Kilburn-Smith. Kind of lost it and then trapped it on his back thigh, and the turnover gives the ball back to the Royals, who lead by 13 with 1:26 left to go in this first half of play. And now Josh Fugate loses the basketball. Ball still loose, and finally they'll call a jump ball in the possession arrow. Favors Hamilton Southeastern. Hooks to Fugate. Fugate into the front court. Lobs to Majak. Puts it on the floor. Puts it up. Shot no good. Tip back no good. McCarty comes away, and he's going to be bumped by Josh Fugate, as Fugate and McCarty both going after the basketball. Fugate will be called for the personal. It's the 4th team foul against Southeastern with 67 seconds left to go in the first half. 29-16 is the score. Royals led 24-9. They saw the Marauders jump out to the first 7 points here in the quarter, but since then the Royals have scored the last 5. Brandon Bell with the basketball, working on DeLynn Hook. Step back 3 on the way, and it's nailed. Brandon Bell showing a good shooting touch. He has 9 points, and now a steal. Here's McCarty's 3 on the way. That's short, and Hooks has the basketball. Bell has 9 points, all of them from beyond the arc. Here's DeLynn Hooks driving right side of the lane, and he'll be called for steps. Wave off the basket. Substitutions as Cole Hornbuckle will come in, and they will sit Mabor Majak with 37.5 seconds remaining. 29-19. Southeastern has the lead, but the Marauders do have the basketball. Again, Mount Vernon seemingly getting most of their scoring in threes in this game, whether it be beyond the arc or three-point plays on the conversions. And it looks like they're going to hold for the final shot as we're under 20 seconds left to go in the first half, and they trail by 10. Keith Rupert with the basketball. He's guarded by Cole Hornbuckle. Now he moves with 6 seconds, 5 seconds. 3 is on the way. That's short. Hornbuckle has the rebound. 1 second. Three-quarter court shot is going to be short. That's the end of the first half. Southeastern watch the Marauders get out to a 7-0 run to begin the second quarter. But they close as the Royals will continue to own a double-digit lead as they go to the locker rooms. Hamilton Southeastern leads Mount Vernon by the score 29-19. Stay tuned. Check back in about 6-7 minutes. We'll tell you some first half stats and get ready for second half action. Junior varsity action coming up afterwards. Varsity action between the 11th ranked Royals and the Mount Vernon Marauders. This is Hamilton Southeastern basketball on Audio Sports Online. Check. Halftime at the junior varsity game between the Hamilton Southeastern Royals and the Mount Vernon Marauders. Royals with a 29-19 lead. Thank you for joining me. Royals basketball and audio sports online. I'm Brian Scott. JV action before the varsity will take the court immediately following this contest as the Royals look to bounce back after last night's disappointing loss to Zionsville. But right now, let's take a look at some halftime statistics before we get the second half underway. Leading the Mount Vernon Marauders and actually leading all scores with 9 points is Brandon Bell, and all 9 of his points have come from beyond the arc, which has pretty much been the story of this game for the Marauders, is taking quite a few three-point baskets. They made 4 of them in that first half. All 9 of their first quarter points were from beyond the arc, and oddly enough, in the second half, they've either been shooting from 3 or they've been trying to convert three-point attempts from the free throw line. Right now, the Marauders are 1 of 2 from the free throw line. They have made 4 three-point baskets, with Brandon Bell scoring 9 points, all off of threes. 5 points from Max Burhan. It is 3 points from Keith Rupert, 2 points from Daryl Jackson. Sam McCarty, Cooper Williams, and David Kilburn-Smith played. They did not score. For Hamilton Southeastern, a bevy of Royals have gotten into the scores column. They scored 24 points in that first quarter, but then only 5 in the second quarter. Leading the Royals with 8 points is Chris Grubbs, 5 points from Cole Hornbuckle, 4 points from Matt Harris, 3 points from Chris Kotlowski and DeLynn Hooks, 2 points from Mabor Majak and Josh Fugate. Bradley Beeman, Cam Harris, Brandon Miller have played. They did not score. Nate Chikowski, I should also mention, had 2 points in that first quarter. Southeastern has also hit on 4 three-point baskets, but free throw shooting has been, well, a bit of an issue for Coach Dave America's squad in this first half. They are only 1 of 6 from the free throw line, and again, had some problems there in the second quarter with turnovers especially, and just simply not able to get the buckets to drop. We'll see how they do in the second half as crowds beginning to fill in here at Hamilton Southeastern High School as the Royals take on a long time, I don't want to call them nemesis as much as just the team that's very familiar with one another. These two teams have met quite a number of times throughout their histories, and back when Steve Lynch was the coach of the Marauders, many will remember those great teams that had Gary Harris and Zach Irvin, and also when the Royals played them here, those Marauder teams, they've beaten Hamilton Southeastern on a couple of occasions. And they'll come into tonight with a record of 7-4. But first, let's get this JV game second half underway. And to start the second half for the Royals, it'll be the same 5 players that started the first half. And that means it's Josh Fugate, Matt Harris, DeLynn Hooks, Mabor Majak, and Chris Grubbs. They get the ball down low. Shots blocked by Majak as Burhan couldn't get the bucket. Found the big fella instead, and here's Hamilton Southeastern. They'll lob it into Majak, and there's Mabor on a nice entry pass, getting the bucket. And the Royals strike first here, and the defense ratcheting up a bit here in this third quarter. For the Marauders, it looks like it's Sam McCarty, Keith Rupert, Brandon Bell, David Kilburn-Smith, and Max Burhan. Those are the same 5 that started this game. For head coach Jay Kaufman, here's another turnover. Josh Fugate takes a little ball fake, partially blocked, but coming away with it is Southeastern as Matt Harris is able to kick it out to Hooks to Chris Grubbs, and the Royals will reset the offense. They've got a mismatch underneath with Majak, but they're not able to get it to him. Here's Grubbs, a little hesitation, drives in the lane, puts it strong off the glass, and Chris Grubbs is now in double figures with 10 points. Quickly the other way, this is Brandon Bell. He's going to be fouled underneath as the Royals score with the first 4 points of the quarter, but Bell's going to get hacked and earn a trip to the free throw line. Fouls on Chris Grubbs. That's his first team foul, and this is Brandon Bell. Bell misses the first free throw. Again, the Marauders only went to the free throw line twice in that first half, and they split their free throws. Bell's second free throw is good. He now is got double figures himself with 10 points, but it's a 13-point Southeastern lead. Southeastern has outscored the Marauders 4-1 to begin this third quarter of play. Matt Harris makes the entry pass to Grubbs. Grubbs working, double team comes, kicks it out. Harris, bit of a ball fake, head fake, spins, throws it up, finds Grubbs underneath the basket. Grubbs reverse, no good. Majak gets the rebound, can't get the putback, but he is going to earn a trip, it looks like, to the free throw line. First foul against the Marauders here in this second half. Max Burnhan with his second personal, first team foul of the second half, and Mabor Majak will be at the line. And that one rims out. Mabor has showed some very good signs at the free throw line to start this season, but as the season has progressed, he's become a little more streaky from the charity stripe. And he missed that one, but there's DeLynn Hooks. Hooks, though, has the ball stripped from him by David Kilburn-Smith. McCarty's bounce pass right side to Rupert, over to Brandon Bell. Bell, step back three is up. That's no good. Majak comes away with a rebound. So Mabor with the rebound, he'll give it to Chris Grubbs. And Grubbs has it into the front court. Grubbs one-on-one, drives, kicks it out. Hooks wide open three. That one, though, rims out. Halfway down, came back out. Kilburn-Smith with a rebound. He'll give it to Keith Rupert. And Rupert will bring it into the front court. With 4:55 left to go, third quarter. Southeastern leads by 13 to 33-20. McCarty to Brandon Bell. Bell in the lane at the free throw line, kicks it out. Rupert's three is up. It is good. As Keith Rupert has his second bucket. It's a three, as was his first. And it's down to a 10-point lead for Southeastern at 33-23. Fugate to Grubbs, back out to Hooks. Hooks in the lane, drives, little right-hand scoop. Won't get the bucket, but he's going to earn a trip to the free throw line. DeLynn had 3 points in that first half, and the foul is going to go against Max Burnhan. That's his third. And Hooks did have a pair of free throws in the second quarter and missed both of them, but he'll make that first one. Second free throw up. He made them both. 5 points now for DeLynn Hooks, and the lead is 12 points with 4:23 left to go, third quarter of play. McCarty gets a screen, drives in the lane, gets blocked by Majak. Outlet to Matt Harris, finds Chris Grubbs. Grubbs will get the layup on a nice fast break. Grubbs gets the bucket. He now has 12 points, and a good block by Majak leads to the fast break and the bucket in transition. Here is Rupert. His three-pointer is good. Keith Rupert with his third three-point basket, and as Chris Grubbs tries to get it in, we're going to have a foul called against Sam McCarty. They'll say that's his first and the third team foul. Cole Hornbuckle and Bradley Beeman will come into the lineup for head coach Dave Marica, as Fugate and Matt Harris will sit. Southeastern leads by 11. 3:49 remaining in the third quarter. Hornbuckle finds Majak. Majak finds Grubbs, top of the key. Chris Grubbs, pull-up jumper, left elbow. No good, ball's loose, but Hornbuckle gets it, finds Hooks. Hooks is going to have to send it back out and gives it to Cole Hornbuckle. Back to Hooks, right wing, looking for the entry pass down to Majak, but sends it back out to Beeman. 3:23 left to go, third quarter, 37-26. Royals with the lead and the basketball. Hooks at the free throw line now finds Chris Grubbs. Majak will move to the strong side, but they'll send it to Hornbuckle, who's three from the wing. That's no good. Grubbs comes away with it, but throws it into the hands of Brandon Bell, and Bell brings it into the front court. Works against Majak, goes baseline, and he is going to have that shot blocked. Majak really causing problems for the Marauders, and as Chris Grubbs drives, he's going to be foul. Looks like David Kilburn-Smith is going to be called for the foul, and he's also a little gingerly getting up on the side, or down at the end line. It is the fourth team foul called against Mount Vernon, and it will be Chris Grubbs going to the line. Chris is 0 for 2 from the free throw line, but he does have 12 points in the game. Substitutions waiting to come in for Coach Jake Hoffman. That free throw by Chris is strong off the heel. Kilburn-Smith and McCarty will depart. It'll be Cooper Williams coming in, as well as Daryl Jackson for the Marauders. Grubbs misses them both. He is now 0 4 from the line, and the Royals not doing a very good job from the charity stripe in this game. However, they have an 11-point lead. 2:44 left to go in the third quarter. Brandon Bell, pull-up jumper in front of the three-point arc, was very short. In fact, misses everything except the very bottom of the net and goes out of bounds and will belong to Hamilton Southeastern. Bradley Beeman will have it. One of the effects that Mavor Majak has had in this game is the few times that the Marauders have been able to get it down low and into the paint or close to the bucket, Majak has been there to intimidate the shot. Now they're settling for everything external. And here's a Hooks. He gets it to Majak. Majak missed the flush, but a great save by Beeman. Put to Majak, out to Hornbuckle. Royals will set up the offense again. Here is DeLynn Hooks. 3 from the corner. That's no good. And finally, the Marauders are able to chase it down. 2 minutes left to play, third quarter. Royals up by 11. Brandon Bell with the ball goes right side to Cooper Williams, to the hands of Keith Rupert. Back to Williams. We're working on Hornbuckle, loses it, and finally chased down. Brandon Bell's 3 is off the heel, no good. Rebounded by Rupert. He'll back it up and reset the offense. And now as Rupert makes a move, we're going to have a whistle and a foul. This one looks like it's probably going to go against Chris Grubbs. His second, only the second team foul against Southeastern. Matt Harris will return to the lineup. DeLynn Hooks will depart. 37-26, minute 36 left to go, third quarter. Junior varsity action as the gym begins to file. Here's a 3 on the way. That's no good. Ball's tipped out and into the hands of Cooper Williams. He has his shot altered by Majak. Ball still loose. And as Cooper Williams tried to save the basketball, he'll say he stepped on the baseline, and the ball will belong to Hamilton Southeastern with a minute 22 left to go in the third. Majak has had a strong influence, especially defensively in this game, whether outright blocks or simply intimidating the shots. Here's the entry pass. Majak couldn't save it as Beeman made the pass, but Mabor couldn't handle it, and he ended up in trying to save it over to Bradley, bouncing it on the end line, and the turnover gives the ball back to the Mount Vernon Marauders. 37-26 as we have 1 minute left to play in the third quarter. Cooper Williams working on Chris Grubbs. Now sends it over to Keith Rupert with 51 seconds remaining. Left side, Daryl Jackson. Here's a quick trigger, and that shot finally drops for Keith Rupert. He has 12 points, all from beyond the arc, and 3 of those baskets have been here in this third quarter. That trims it to an 8-point deficit, 37-29. Bradley Beeman drives, kicks it out to Matt Harris. 24 seconds remain. Cole Hornbuckle pulls up. The jumper no good, and the rebound by Jackson. He'll outlet to Bradley, and Brandon Bell, and Bell gets the bucket and the foul. Nice play by Bell. Used the basket to shield, got the bucket, and drew the foul against Cole Hornbuckle, his first, third team foul. And Bell who now has 12 points, can make it 13 if he can convert the three-point play, which he does. And it's now down to a 5-point lead for Southeastern, 37-32, with 10 seconds remaining. And Grubbs has the basketball. With 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Grubbs sends it out to Beeman. Beeman tries to get the hornbuckle, and the time is going to run out here in the third quarter. And Southeastern, which led by 10 at the half, sees it cut in half to 5 as we go to the fourth and final quarter. Southeastern leads Mount Vernon 37-32. Back with the fourth quarter after this is Royals basketball on Audio Sports Online. As we get ready to start the fourth and final quarter, Hamilton Southeastern leads Mount Vernon 37-32. I'm Brian Scott. Welcome to Royals basketball on Audio Sports Online. Mount Vernon once again using the three-point shot, with Keith Rupert hitting 3 three-point baskets in that third quarter. They have now hit 7 on the game. Meanwhile, for Southeastern, troubles at the free throw line. They were 2 of 6 in that third quarter, and they were outscored, as I said, 13-8, but they lead by 5 after leading by as much as 15. Here's Chris Grubbs, kicks it out. This is DeLynn Hooks. Little reverse, no good. Grubbs' shot rims out of the basket and into the hands of Keith Rupert. He's trapped in the corner, but is able to get it out. Now Mount Vernon has numbers. Driving, they kick it right side. Brandon Bell's three is on the way. It's no good. Ball's loose, and it falls into the hands of Keith Rupert. Back right side, this is Jackson. His little right-hand runner's no good, and finally coming away with it is Matt Harris. So the Royals dodge one there, and they have the basketball up by 5. Here's Mabor Majak, turnaround jumper in the lane. That's short off the rim into the hands of Brandon Bell. Bell left side to Rupert. They send it over to the right side, and from the wing, getting the roll around the rim is Cooper Williams, and that three makes it a 2-point game at 37-35. The 8th three-point basket made by the Marauders in this basketball game. Here's Matt Harris, finds the baseline open, sends it to Majak, back to Grubbs, over to Hooks. 37-35 is our score as we are in the final quarter of play here from Hamilton Southeastern High School. The entry pass to Majak. Now he clears out. Little left-hand runner, no good. Gets his own rebound, and as he tries to put it back up, he won't be able to get the bucket, but he is going to earn a trip to the free throw line. Max Burhan with his 4th personal and the 5th team foul, and that'll send Mabor Majak to the line for a pair. Mabor is 0 for 2, and the Royals in this basketball game are 3 of 12 from the free throw line. That one's off the heel but gets the bounce and drops. And we're going to have a timeout. And we will have a timeout called by Coach Jake Hoffman of the Marauders. A full timeout with 5 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in this ball game. Southeastern leads 38-35. They've had that lead up to as much as 15 at one point. They led by 10 at the half, and they led 24-9 after the first quarter. But the strength of the three-point shot has been the difference here for the Marauders, and they've used that to get themselves back into this basketball game. And Cooper Williams' three to open the scoring in the fourth quarter for the Marauders. Made it a 2-point game, but Mabor Majak has just hit the first of 2 free throws, and he is going to be at the free throw line when we wrap up this timeout. Again, 5:28 left to go. Hamilton Southeastern leading 38-35. I'm Brian Scott. Thanks for joining me tonight on, I know it's a beautiful Saturday here in central Indiana. Temperatures in the mid-60s. But it is January in Indiana, which means we've got some great high school hoops on tap. So out of the timeout, Mabor Majak will be looking to see if he can convert and make both free throws. He made his first. He missed his first 2 of the basketball game earlier in the third quarter. And that one's too strong off the heel, and Burhan, who is playing with 4 personal fouls, gets the rebound. It's a 3-point lead as Brandon Bell gets the high ball screen, but they have a mismatch underneath. Burhan on hooks. They'll send it out to the corner. Williams' 3 is no good. Ball's tapped out. Williams gets it. He'll go up against Chris Grubbs, and while he won't get the bucket, they'll draw the foul against Grubbs, which will be his 3rd, and the 4th team foul against Southeastern in the half. Cooper Williams will go to the line to shoot a pair. And he makes the first. It's Marauders now 4 of 6 from the charity stripe. Again, compare that to Southeastern, who has not had very good success from the line tonight. Second free throw on the way. He sank them both. And Williams now has 5 points, and it's a 1-point Southeastern lead as we approach 5 minutes left to play. Fugate with the basketball, hands it to Hooks. Right side to Grubbs. They look to feed Majak, which they get the ball into the big man. Majak kicks it out to Grubbs. Ball fake, throws it up the three-pointer from the top of the key. It's good by Chris Grubbs. And then we're going to have a timeout called by Coach Dave Maricas. So Chris Grubbs, nice little ball fake, and then just simply step back and calmly drain the 3. That's his first 3 of the game. He has 15 points, and that will make it a 4-point lead for Southeastern with 4:48 left to go in the 4th quarter. I'm Brian Scott. Varsity action to follow on Audio Sports Online as the Hamilton Southeastern Royals return home, again taking on the Mount Vernon Marauders. We'll be back with you next Friday night for more Hoosier Crossroads Conference action when the Millers from Noblesville come to Hamilton Southeastern. JV game at 6, varsity at 7:30 on Audio Sports Online. Both teams with 3 timeouts remaining. A pair of fulls and a 30 belong to both teams, so plenty of timeouts remain should the coaches want them. Out of the timeout, Josh Fugate, Matt Harris, DeLynn Hooks, Chris Grubbs, and Mabor Majak. It will be Max Burhan, Brandon Bell, Keith Rupert, Daryl Jackson, and Cooper Williams on the court for the Marauders. They'll have the basketball. Here comes pressure, and here's Grubbs. He has the steal, finds Fugate. Fugate with a great job of hanging on to that basketball and converting the turnover into points. Very athletic play by Josh Fugate, and here again is the pressure as they try to trap, and we're going to have a whistle. And quickly, Coach Jake Hoffman is going to call a timeout. As out of that last timeout, Coach Dave Merica had his team trapping the basketball, and it led to an easy bucket, and now seeing his player trapped near the corner, he's going to call another timeout. This is a 30-second timeout, so the Marauders with 2 remaining. The lead is 6 for Southeastern at 43-37. 4 minutes and 25 seconds remain in this 4th quarter. Marauders will have the basketball, and it'll be Daryl Jackson triggering the inbounds from the sideline right in front of the scorer's table. And he looks, and he'll throw it to the backcourt and almost threw it over the head of Keith Rupert. He's able to track it down before it gets to the end line and brings it into the front court. 6-point lead for Southeastern. The right side to Daryl Jackson. Jackson around Fugate. Tries to shoot it up and gets it over the big fella, Mabor Majak, as Daryl Jackson has the bucket. Quickly the other way. Harris has the ball stolen basically out of midair. Here comes Brandon Bell. 43-39, and with good quick hands, that's DeLynn Hooks knocking the ball out of bounds as Rupert had the basketball. He'll trigger the inbounds from the sideline, gets it to Cooper Williams, and back over to Rupert. 3:52 left to go, fourth quarter. 43-39 is the score. Brandon Bell with the basketball, left side, and gets it in the hands of Daryl Jackson. Jackson, he'll pop the three and get it over the big fella, Mabor Majak. This is Daryl Jackson with two baskets, got them both over Mabor, and it's back to a 1-point lead for Southeastern, 43-32, with 3:28 left to go. Mabor Majak with the basketball, triple team, sends it out to Fugate, down low to Hooks. Baseline jumper is up off the side, and Grubbs can't come down with a long outlet pass, and there's the big fella, Mabor Majak, and they'll say it went off of Jackson trying to get the rebound, but Keith Rupert saw the big fella there, tried to alter his shot, missed badly, and then it went off the leg of Daryl Jackson out of bounds, and it will belong to Southeastern. Substitutions now. Fugate and Harris depart. Beeman and Hornbuckle return. Southeastern with the basketball and a 1-point lead. 3:11 remains. And Beeman into the front court. Right side, Grubbs, all wide open three, and he cans it from the corner. Grubbs now with 18 points, his second three-point basket of the quarter, and the lead's back to 4 at 46-42. Williams finds Burhan. He'll send it back out. Here's a three on the way. That's no good from Rupert. Williams underneath has the basketball as he tried to put up the shot. There was Chris Grubbs to send it out, and the Marauders, though, will retain possession of the basketball. 2:37 remain in this fourth quarter. 46-42 is the score. Rupert out to Brandon Bell. Long-range three, and Brandon Bell nailed it. Brandon Bell with the long-range three going the other way. DeLynn Hooks, his layup is no good, and the Marauders have the basketball trailing by one. They can take the lead for the first time. They find Burhan. He's going to be met by two Royals. He had both Hornbuckle and Mabor Majak. And they will call the foul on Cole. That's his second 15 foul, and at the line will be Max Burhan. Burhan has 5 points all in the first half. That free throw ties the game at 46 with 2:12 remaining. And Burhan can give the Marauders their first lead of the contest with a free throw here. That one's no good. Ball's loose. Majak has the loose ball, and he will hand it off to Chris Grubbs. We are tied at 46 as we approach the 2-minute mark left to go in this regulation of fourth quarter. Bradley Beeman works, tries to get to Majak, threw it too high. Ball's loose, still loose. And the Marauders are able to get it in the hands of Keith Rupert. Rupert, front court, tied at 46, 1:45 left to go. Brandon Bell drives in the lane. Shot is no good, and a foul is going to be called. DeLynn Hooks, his first 16 foul, and they will say it's a non-shooting foul, so the Marauders will take the ball out on the baseline. Next Royal foul will be their team's 7th and put the Marauders on the line. They get the ball in to Jackson, who sends it out to Brandon Bell. Tied at 46. Bell, pull-up jumper, and that shot no good. Grubbs with a rebound. Here comes Southeastern the other way. Grubbs pulls it up, and now we're going to have a whistle and a timeout called by Dave Marica. And it will be a full timeout. With 1:25 left to go in this fourth quarter, we are tied at 46. I'm Brian Scott. 18 points for Chris Grubbs, including a pair of threes, but Brandon Bell, he has 16 points in this game, and it's been the three-point shooting of the Marauders that have brought them back and gotten them back into this game, and now they are tied. They have 10 three-point baskets here in this game. And they have also been hitting free throws. That is something that the Royals have been leaving points at the charity stripe. So we'll see what Coach Dave Merica has in store out of the timeout. And he will have DeLynn Hooks, Cole Hornbuckle, Mabor Majak, Chris Grubbs, and Bradley Beeman on the floor. It'll be Daryl Jackson, Brandon Bell, Keith Rupert, Max Burhan, and Cooper Williams on the court for the Marauders. 1:22 left to go. We're tied at 46. Beeman gets the ball to Grubbs. We have a whistle and a foul away from the ball, I should say, underneath the basket. And it will go against Cooper Williams. That's his fourth, a 16 foul. Now, Cooper Williams and Max Burhan, they're two big men, both with 4 personal fouls. Nobody in foul trouble really for the Royals. Chris Grubbs does have 3. They feed it to Majak. Majak down low, spins in the lane, left hand. That's short, gets his own rebound, puts it up. That one rims out. Ball chased down. Grubbs has it. 1:06. Here's DeLynn Hooks with it. We're tied at 46. 63 seconds remain. Back to Grubbs with 60 seconds remaining. He'll reset the offense. Tied at 46 in this junior varsity contest. And now another timeout called by head coach Dave Merica. And this will be a full timeout. So the only timeout we show that Coach Dave Merica has left is a 30. Meanwhile, the Marauders have 2 timeouts, both fulls remaining. We're tied at 46, 54.3 seconds remain in this junior varsity contest. Southeastern led 24-9 after the first quarter. They led by 10 at the half, led by 5 at the end of 3, and now they've watched the Marauders come all the way back to tie this basketball game. The Marauders have never led, but we are tied at 46. So out of the timeout, we will see DeLynn Hooks, Mabor Majak, Matt Harris, Chris Grubbs, and Josh Fugate take the court for Coach Dave Merica. And it'll be Hooks triggering the inbounds, and he'll throw it to Fugate in the backcourt. Josh gets it across the timeline with 50 seconds remaining. Here's DeLynn Hooks with a basketball around a Grubbs screen. To Harris, left side to Fugate. Fugate around a Majak screen, drives in the lane, runner. That's strong off the glass, no good. Ball finally corralled by Cooper Williams, and the Marauders have the basketball. Tie game and block shot as Daryl Jackson challenged Chris Grubbs and found his shot rejected, but the Marauders will have the basketball with 32.8 seconds remaining, and we're tied at 46. Cooper Williams will trigger the inbounds from the baseline and gets the ball into Keith Rupert. Rupert to Daryl Jackson with 26 seconds remaining. Jackson works against Fugate. Gets it over to the right side to Keith Rupert once again. Brandon Bell being shadowed by Matt Harris. 12 seconds remaining. 10 seconds. 9 seconds. Rupert drives, goes right side. This is Cooper Williams in the lane. Scoop shot up and in. 2 seconds. 1 second. That shot is good if it goes. It goes off of the backboard, and that's the final score as Cooper Williams hits the bucket that gives the Marauders their one and only lead of the basketball game, and they'll walk out of here with a 48-46 win. Stay tuned. Give me a minute. We'll have some final stats in just a moment. This is Royals basketball on ASO. Brian Scott back with you as the JV team loses on a final shot for the Mount Vernon Marauders, which gave them their one and only lead of this contest. They win 48-46 as Cooper Williams gets the go-ahead basket with under 3 seconds remaining, and the Marauders pick up the win. Hamilton Southeastern led 24-9 after the first quarter, 29-19 after the halftime break. They led 37-32 after 3, but Mount Vernon, on the strength of great three-point shooting all game long, they outscore Southeastern in the second half 29-17, and they walk out of here with a 48-46 win. Let's give you final stats for the winning Mount Vernon Marauders. 16 points from Brandon Bell, 7 points from Cooper Williams, who hit the game-winning shot and hit all 7 of his in that fourth quarter. 9 points from Keith Rupert, 7 points from Darrell Jackson, 6 points for Max Burhan. David Kilburn-Smith and Sam McCarty played. They did not score. The Mount Vernon Marauders hit 10 three-point baskets. For Coach Dave Marica's JV Royals, 18 points from Chris Grubbs, 5 points each from Matt Harris, Cole Hornbuckle, Mabor Majak, 4 points each from Josh Fugate and Chris Kotlowski, 3 points from 3 points from Chris Kotlowski, I should say 4 points from Josh Fugate and Matt Harris, 2 points from Nate Shikowski, Bradley Beeman, DeLeon Hooks, Cam Harris all played. They did not score. Royals left a ton of points at the free throw line, and the JV team goes down to defeat 48-46. Stay tuned. Coming up, varsity action to follow on Audio Sports Online. Once again, the JV team loses 48-46. Keep it tuned. We'll be back in about 15 minutes.